You can think of the Audi Q3 as being a bit like a Kit Kat Chunky. It takes something normal, regular, like the normal Audi A3, that's this normal Kit Kat, and it beefs it up and turns it into a rugged-looking SUV. It's a slightly tortured analogy, and mostly it's just because I want to eat these in between takes, but yes, the Q3 is a rival for the likes of the BMW X1, the Mercedes GLA, and even the Range Rover Evoque. Could potentially tempt you out the top-spec Volkswagen Tiguan too, or could it? Let's find out if it's any good and if it's worth the extra over the Audi A3. The Q3 first turned up back in 2011, back when everyone was just trying to build SUVs of every shape and size. I actually had one of those as a company car when I worked for Volkswagen Group, and it was sort of okay at best. This version came out in 2018, though all new, and it made the old one look very old. It got this big, striking Audi grille, so it doesn't feel like a poor relation to the Q5 and Q7 anymore. This one's rimmed in black because it's a black edition. All models get LED headlights, and I just think it looks astonishingly good. There's also a sportback version of this, and that just has a slightly sloping roofline at the back. You get a bit less rear headroom, but it looks better, and actually everything I'm about to say in this review applies to that as well. The Audi Q3 feels like a proper Audi inside, which is to say, it feels very posh. The design is a bit monochromatic. You might like that, you might not like that. I think it's a little bit dull to look at, especially compared to the Mercedes-Benz GLA. And if you do poke around, you'll find some cheap plastics down here. Like all of this is a bit cheap, bit scratchy, bit disappointing, but you're more likely to be distracted by the onslaught of technology. You get digital driver's display, you get a 10.1-inch infotainment screen, which is really good, and it's got wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as well. However, it does feel a bit odd having wireless CarPlay and having to start the car using one of these, a flippy out old school key. But otherwise, it's okay in here. This one doesn't have wireless charging, but it is an option. You've got two USB-Cs down there, physical climate control buttons, so you can keep your eyes on the road while roasting your bottom. Storage is okay. You've got a pretty shallow bin under here. You've got some Kit Kat holders there, which are nice and big for large and small Kit Kats. The door bins are reasonably small. They don't go the full length of the door, and they're not felt lined, so stuff will rattle around in there. But will you rattle around in the back seats? Let's find out. Old key, really, in an Audi. You might be shopping for the Audi Q3 as a potential small family SUV, and it can indeed fit a small family. I'm 6'3", that's my driving position. I've got lots of knee room because this version of the Q3 is 10 centimeters longer inside than the old version. Middle seat is a little bit narrow and there's not much footroom, but for 4 people, it's actually perfectly decent. And the seats can slide forward if you want to have no knee room, but more boot space, which we'll get onto in a minute. And they also recline or go very upright, like you're in Victorian high school. Someone's going to come and slap my wrist with a ruler. But anyway, otherwise, I've got a single door bin which can hold a big bottle, and I've also got a Sonos sound system in this version because it's top spec S-Line Black Edition. No USB chargers, but I've got air vents back here. That's about it. Headroom in the Sportback version is a little bit lower than in here, but it's still all right. Continuing the practical family SUV theme, you probably want to use your Q3's boot. And it's got a 530 litre boot and they're all electrically operated. Now, there is a caveat to that 530 litre. And it's not the Sportback, that's got the same boot capacity. It's this, the hybrid version. It's got a big bag of cables in it, which you can obviously take out and leave at home, but there's no underfloor boot storage whatsoever, because of batteries and things like that. So it's actually a 380 litre boot, no bigger than the boot on a Volkswagen Golf, which is a little bit miserly. But anyway, let's see if this Q3 hybrid can pass the dreaded, by me, Motorpoint Big Boot Challenge. Right, I know exactly what you're thinking. Tim, your beard looks awful. Yes, it does. Haven't trimmed it for a while. Also, Tim, you managed to fit all 4 of those bags into the boot of the Q3 hybrid, and I did, but with some pretty big caveats. Firstly, I had to take out the Bago cables that Audi gives you so you can charge this. Obviously, if you were having to use the boot, you probably would leave this at home. Also, these bags are empty, so they can squish down. If those little carry-on bags were full, there's no way they're fitting in there. Obviously, I could move the back seats forward, give myself more boot space, but then I'd have no rear seat legroom. So it is a compromised car. If you want maximum boot space from your Q3, don't buy the hybrid version. But anyway, let's take the hybrid version out on the road and see how it drives. It's the only way to eat your Kit Kat. None of this finger breaking malarkey. Anyway, let's go for a drive in the Audi Q3. First thing you notice, you can get quite a high SUV driving position, or you can drop your seat down, pull the steering wheel out, and it feels a little bit sporty. Probably going to have to cut. Can't talk. Right, sorry about that. I was just really hungry. Q3, is it easy to see out of? Yes. Is it easy to drive? Very easy to drive. Now, in terms of engines, I am in the TFSI 45E, which is the plug-in hybrid version, which is a 1.4 litre petrol engine with 30 miles of electric-only driving range. There's no full electric version of the Q3 at the moment. I would say this hybrid version is also the most expensive until you get to the RS Q3, which is the very fast one that's got 400 horsepower. I probably wouldn't get that, to be honest. A more sensible option would be one of the entry-level petrols. There's the 35 TFSI and the 40 TFSI. The numbers might come after TFSI. We're going to put them up on the screen so you can actually see. There's also a couple of 2-litre diesels with 150 and closer to 200 horsepower. They're going to be your best bets if you do big miles. But basically, you can't go wrong with any of the engines. Just with this hybrid, be aware it's expensive and it has got a smaller boot, as we've already found out. Anyway, that's all waffle. I'm going to get onto the dual carriageway and tell you what it's like at motorway speeds. Right, I'm accelerating from 50 miles an hour up to 70 miles an hour to talk about motorway refinement. And I can tell you already, it's as quiet as a church in here. There's no wind noise, barely any tyre noise. This is absolutely a great car for doing long distances and just feeling really relaxed, and the whole interior ambience makes you feel good about yourself. Now, in terms of safety, it's got the kitchen sink, it's got automatic emergency braking, and that can detect cars, obviously, but also cyclists and pedestrians. It's got lane keep assist, which you can turn off with a single press of a button on the end of the indicator stalk if it does get on your nerves. Yeah, it's a brilliant, brilliant car for motorway cruises. But is it any fun? Let's head to a country road and find out. Now, before we get to our proper country road driving, I just want to talk quickly about this hybrid version, because it's really nice to drive some plug-in hybrids. You get a real switch over between the petrol engine and the electric motor, and it makes lots of noise from the engine when it kicks in. This is really well sorted and it's very refined. I like it. Anyway, in terms of country road driving, this is not quite as firm as you might be thinking. Sporty Audis often rattle your eyeballs around their sockets, dislocate your vertebrae and all the rest of it, but this Q3 is all right. It's certainly firmer than, say, Mercedes GLA, but it's not uncomfortable, and that does mean you get more confidence to push it into corners if you start doing slightly sporty driving. Sorry, I just had to slow down because it's the world's biggest crater in that bit of road. But yeah, you can attack corners with confidence. It's not like loads of fun to drive, but it feels posh. And I know it's a weird thing to say about the way a car drives, but when you're behind the wheel of this, you feel good about life. So it's refined, it's reasonable to drive, it's comfortable, and it's just very easy to live with. Well done, Audi. Let's go back to Motorpoint then for an outro to sum up. Maybe eat another Kit Kat. I'm addicted. The Audi Q3 is massively popular here at Motorpoint, and honestly it's easy to see why. It takes that classic small family SUV thing and sprinkles over a real premium feel on the interior and the exterior as well. Just look at it, it looks magnificent. It drives pretty well, it's comfortable, it's got a good range of engines. The only downside really is that it's more expensive than some of its rivals, but I really think you do get what you pay for. You could say it takes the biscuit. Not sponsored by Kit Kat, I wish it was. Anyway, thank you ever so much for watching this video. If you've liked it, please hit like and do subscribe to the Motorpoint YouTube channel. It's got plenty more nearly new car reviews coming up very soon. See you next time.